a very good evening to everyone. Welcome back, I guess. It's kind of like a new thing for me as well, kind of like second stream, second game, same day. Yep. Also, hey, Posh, welcome. How's it going? How are we doing today? We are like doing your request tonight, and we are playing Chrono Trigger. I'm all the way up here now because kind of like the UI is kind of in the way otherwise. It's like the the party thing, the party UI is kind of like at the bottom of the screen there. So I'm just gonna like let this play out. This is a very old JRPG. It came out in '95, I think. What we are now playing is the port, the Android port, or rather, the Steam release of the Android port of the PSX remake or remaster even of the SNES Classic. So basically, yeah. The Square Enix, like Squaresoft at the time, RPGs of the time, it's got like a very small cast, like a tight focus on like the main story, more or less. The side stuff is not as major. Also, why is my controller not working? Okay, that's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. So let me just see a few things here. Already I'm not liking the well, this. They should have had at least like a filter to kind of like smooth out the font a little bit. Like if an emulator can manage it, then they should as well. Oh wow. And you actually have to reboot the game to change the resolution. Okay. Also now it's like in windowed mode for whatever reason. Okay. This is hardly ideal. I did not know. Setting. Yeah. So like literally if you don't set it to full screen, it... Oh my god, why? Why is this a thing in like a 2019 release? God. So you literally have to exit the game to change resolutions. Can we name characters also? Hey, Tuma, welcome. How's it going? How are we doing tonight? I mean, this is Chrono Trigger. I don't want to change the character names. I like them just like they are. I'm sorry about that. Maybe in like one of the Final Fantasy games, I would maybe see myself doing that. But this is Chrono Trigger. I just need like Robo and Marl and like Luca and Ayla and Frog and you know. I just like can't put other names to those faces. I've like played this so many times that I literally can't just like do that. Graphics high resolution. Huh. And why is this not like the default? But yeah, as I was saying, I'm kind of like aware that um I'm kind of aware that Posh hasn't really like experienced this game before. Also, what? Um okay. Did the game crash? Excuse me? No, really. Excuse me? This is slightly annoying and very infuriating. Off to a good start. Yes, exactly. Um. Okay, I guess selecting the what's it called? Selecting like the new high res graphics doesn't really work. So yeah, fair enough. I mean I don't mind. Stupid to have the option if it's not working, but whatever. Like laying on the couch resting your spine. Oh, hope it's not like troubling you too much. But yeah, came out in '95, widely beloved. As you will see, it's like a very quickie mix of time travel, a kind of road trip adventure. It has some darker moments as well, but you know, in general, it's kind of like a very upbeat RPG. The the first thing you might notice is like the game is called Chrono Trigger, Chrono, but the character is called Chrono, Chrono. This is because the game has a 5 character limit for its party members. And this annoys me to no end. It's like a very limiting JRPG, yes. But yeah, like again. I think the Princess Robo. Wait, the Princess Robo? Why should we name the Princess Robo? She's like Marle, right? No, hold on. Nadia. Nadia is her actual name. Yes. No, I won't be. I like their like in-game names. Having fast to not die in Minecraft. I'm sorry then. But no, it's kind of like the default names all the way. It's like I don't know. I'm kind of like weird, specifically in Chrono Trigger. Like Tuma remembers, we've like streamed like Final Fantasy 9. I named Aiko like Kappa or something like that. But in this one, I just can't see them as any other name. So yeah, we kind of open up on. Oh geez, what was the village called? God, it's like the kingdom of something or another that was most glorious. Yeah, and I never really did find the item that like allows you to rename here, like the read thingy that you can like rename like the tag thing that you can remember characters with, and rename characters with. So let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of like trying to dig up a few things here. Just so that I'm sure I'm like not talking out of my ass. So let's see. So yeah, the kingdom is called Guardia. That's like correct, but the village is called like Truce, I think, or something like that. So yeah, we kind of open up on the village of Truce on a certain sleepyhead called Chrono, who is the protagonist of the game. You must have been so excited about the Millennial Fair that you couldn't sleep last night, could you? Hmm. He's also a silent protagonist, so we're never gonna hear him speak or like see him speak. Well, you'd better not let that giddiness get you into any trouble. I want you to behave yourself today. But I know nearly all the nooks and crannies of this game, so believe me, I'm gonna be getting some extra things along the way. Um. So yeah, the cat. The cat is important later in the game, or like not important, but still. This bucket is also kind of important later in the game in like a certain way. I will say that I'm not gonna spend a lot of time playing the mini games at the Guardia Fair, the Millennial Fair. Mother, it's about yeah. Totally forget like in this era of like JRPG, you also get like the characters like name in the chat in like the dialogue bubbles. So yeah, it's about time. By the way, you're going to go see. Oh dear, what was your name? That young inventor's friend of yours. It's like I've always had like the let's call it like the temptation to call her Butts, just because like the game allows me to, but I don't know. This is Luca. She's an inventor. Has like literally 50% of all her characterization. That's right, Luca. Also, I was never sure if it's like Luca or Luca. Like, I don't know how that's pronounced. You're going to stop by and see her new invention at the fair, aren't you? Well, run along then, and be back before dinner. Wait, my allowance? Hey, oh, I almost forgot. Here's your allowance, dear. Have fun at the fair. 200 golds. Like, every little bit counts. And be back before dinner. Yep, that's not happening. Also, take note of like how nice and peaceful the music is. I just love the music in this game. Like every single track, even like the sad ones, which I normally don't really enjoy. Also, I'm gonna like lower it a little bit because I am aware that it's kind of loud. If it's, ooh. You know what? I actually want to save here and check to see if like the new graphics is what is like crashing the game. Wait, these are the high resolution graphics that crash the game? Seriously? It's just a freaking filter! And I'm pretty sure I know what filter it is. It's like that 2x psi filter. It's like a freaking interpolator. God damn it, why did the game crash? Say, can you spare 10G for me to buy a drink? Sure. Let me play a song in return. This is the song that plays in the Guardia Forest, and I believe it's also called something like Sad Something Something. Also, see, uniquely in games, in like games of the time, you can actually speak with the characters, and if you want to, you can just like walk away. I think this is like the first like JRPG that actually did this, or maybe like one of the first. There's even one instance of it in the game where you can get called out on doing just that. Okay, let's just like talk to him. You been to the fair yet? Nope. What? What are you doing here then? You have to wait 1,000 years for another millennial fair. The festivities are in Lean Square, just up north. More tents and stalls that you can shake a stick at. Yeah, we don't need to... Let me know if you change your mind. Yeah. Remember the earthquake we had the other day? Yup. You're an oblivious one, aren't you? Well, never mind then. So yeah, oh, you can't actually see it here. Hold on. Let me just come over here. I don't know if you like see that little black box there. That's actually important. That's gonna like come into play in like 10 or 20 hours or so. This box has been handed down for generations. Should you somehow manage to open it, you are welcome to the contents. That is also an important sound cue. Mysterious force seals it shut. And the lady suddenly stopped playing the piano because the game can't actually handle remembering which track it had like swapped to. It's kind of funny. This is the mayor. Well, not this is the mayor. Hello, is this your first visit? Would you like me to tell you about this house? Nope. So basically, this is kind of like a tutorial house. Obtain potion. I think we get like another item from this guy here. Or I don't remember. Like there's like a bunch of tutorials, kind of like what happens in Final Fantasy VII. Eventually, when you get like to like Sector 7 and there's like a house which is just like full of people that just like tell you gameplay stuff. I think you got like an item from like one of these, but I don't remember. This one tells you about save points. Maybe like the mayor upstairs? Oh, did I just go into a combat tutorial? No. Oh wait, there's like a chest. Hold on. We can get that as well. Obtain 100 G. I don't know what the like this game calls them. It's like gold or like gil. I don't remember what they went with. It's like just like gold. G, gold. Visit our stall at Lynn Square. Gil? Wait, in this one it's called Gil? I'm not actually... I don't remember actually. I don't think it's ever mentioned as that. That girl, Luca, was over in the square going about how she made the discovery of her lifetime. Gold points. GP? Okay. Something tells me I'm as happy now as I'll ever be. This is kind of nice because like all of these characters that I just like talked to right now, they kind of get the reference later in the game after certain things like happen. There were silver points at the fair too. Yeah, I know about those. Those are like the carnival points or something, like the tokens or whatever. Mysterious whirlpool sometimes appears near here. What do you suppose could cause such a thing? If only my dear Fritz would return. I'd ask for nothing more. He left on a journey and he's not yet returned. You can totally like go to Por if you want to. So basically the game kind of like tells you head to the fair, which is kind of like here. But if you're kind of interested in exploring things, aside from Luca's place, which is this place here, her mom should be here, she can't walk. Hello, Chrono. Luca's off at Lynn Square with her father, Taban. With her... I like how she calls him out by name. Unveiling her new invention. Yep. Because, yeah, the silver points you kind of, like, get from, like, winning certain minigames. Which is, like, a thing. So, how does... I just had, like, a very kind of, like, jumping ahead moment. How do you save Lara later on? It's, like... I guess it's like LB, A, RB, and then A again? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out. I am going to save. Because you only ever get like one chance at that. So So yeah, basically you get to cross Xenon Bridge and then you come like down here to like Por. No, hold on. Por is like here, yeah. And I don't actually need to do this, but if ever you are kind of, you know, in need of like a boost, like you're struggling, it's like very easy for me to go grind some like XP and stuff in the forest now, and then just kind of, you know, come here, buy some stuff, be super powerful, get like a weapon for Marl later on as well. Everybody says Dad is greedy. That's not true, is it? Okay, I am going to speak with the mayor because that kind of like has a thing later on. The children are slipping away from us. It's so painful to see. And by speaking to... Come on. Oh, am I stuck? Dude, no. By speaking to them, like the husband, you kind of like get why. Ah ha ha! I run this town and I'm so rich I don't know what to do with it all. Give you 10G if you spin around 3 times and clack like a chicken. That was great. Here you go. 10G. Don't spend it all in one place. Dad loves money more than he loves me. I hate my dad more than anyone in the whole world. Yep. Not a very... what's it called? Not a very loving family, is it? We actually get to fix this later on. There's like so many little touches, and honestly, if this is like the first time you ever played this, you probably wouldn't have seen this bit unless you like really went out of your way to, you know, explore. Because once you get into the Millennial Fair at Lynn Square, you kind of get distracted by a lot of things. Today is the 1000th anniversary of our kingdom's foundation. Enjoy the festivities. I surely would if I were your age. Hi. I hear Luca and her father have put together another crazy invention. I just hope it doesn't blow up again like the last one. So we can actually just like try and guess the winner. It was like a method to this. You can go speak to this guy. It'll be the Green Ambler for sure. Okay, let's do that. And there's actually a way to also cheat by kind of like standing in front of them. I don't remember exactly how you do it, but there's like a way to kind of like delay the like most of the runners. Green Ambler is actually last. Wow. This kingdom went through some hard times, like the war against the Fiend Lord 400 years ago. You should be thankful things are so peaceful now. Okay, so basically all of these mini games you can get silver points, which is like what JLC mentioned. Yep. Yay. Way to go. I'll put 1 silver point on your card. Like probably the most efficient way to get like points is to go fight like the robot. Like what's his name, El Gato or something like that, which is kind of funny actually. Melchior the Swordsmith at your service. Might I interest you in all my fine blades? All of them like extremely overpriced. I live on the continent to the east. Come and see me if you ever have the need. This merchant said he'd buy accessories if they were in good condition. Oh-ho! Is this like a hint for later? Okay, spend your points. Nope. We need to win the silver tier challenge, which is like the second one. Welcome to Norstein Beckler's Tent of Horrors. The spine-tingling show is just about to start. Meh. How many silver points would you like to spend? Okay, so I just like need 40 for that. So there's like a mini game that we need to do in order to get the good ending later on, or rather to get like the proper ending, not like the good one. So, that lady that you see kind of like running around is the second party member we are getting. Her name is Marl, and she's also a big trap. So see, what actually happens here is that I kind of need to bump into her. You might be wondering why I'm hesitating to do that. And that would be because there is a... Wait, there's a cat. Kitty? What the hell? Did I just like glitch out the cat? Oh wow. I did. Her name is Nadia, don't let the game fool you. Yeah. I mean, we are going to kind of like refer to her by her chosen name because, I mean, that's kind of like what she asks to be called. There's another mini game that isn't like very interesting to do. But yeah. The game basically kind of like makes you bump into her to get things started. You might be wondering why I'm hesitating to do that, and there's kind of like a reason later on in the game, which is the same reason I'm not going to eat this guy's lunch even though I can. My dear old wife made that lunch for me, always the highlight of my day. Gives me that extra oomph when I'm starting to feel worn down. Which is also why we're gonna... Wait, there we go. We're gonna play a little like escort mission here with the cat. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't be doing that because you get extra interactions from Marl if you do it like that. But yeah, it's like... I've actually agonized over this several times. I have no idea how to start this without bumping into her. Which is kind of... You know, it's okay. This is like a little spoiler for later on, but the game actually keeps track of some of the actions that you perform in like the Millennial Fair. Hold on. Let's see. But yeah, there is like a point later on in the game that the game kind of like keeps track of what you've done in the fair, and it kind of like goes through a sort of trial where a lot of the bad things that you may have done without like realizing because you were playing this like it was like a run-of-the-mill JRPG come back and bite you in the ass. One of which is eating this guy's lunch. Another of which is not... No, yeah, let's just like make her run away. Not helping the kid find her cat. There's like a third one with not trying to sell her amulet to Balthazar, or like no Melchior, sorry. But yeah, anyway, like bump. Oof. Ding, ding, ding. There's like a legend about the bell. Those who hear it ring will get married, I guess, or they will lead happy lives or something like that. Uh-oh, my pendant. We just like check that she's okay first. This is like the first action that the game tracks. Did you speak to Nadia, like to Marl first? Or did you go get your pendant first? You might be playing this as a regular RPG and kind of like thought, let me just get the item so I can give it to her right away. But nope. The game will hold that against you later on. Oh no, my pendant. Don't tell me I lost it. So yeah, let's go get it. And give it to her. Thank goodness, my pendant. I know it doesn't look like much, but it has a lot of sentimental value. May I have it back? Yes, thank you. You must live in this town. I came to see the fair. Awfully boring wandering around alone though, isn't it? Hey, why don't we walk around together for a while? Wouldn't that be great? I mean, sure. Yahoo! This be fun. Google! I never told you my name. It's, gonna go with Marl. Even though I like Nadia better, I prefer that. You're Chrono. That's a nice name. Pleased to meet you, Chrono. Come on, let's enjoy the fair. Okay, now we can start being like standout, like paragons of virtue. Okay, by delivering a cat to its owner. Come on. Oh, Chrono, you're so sweet. You brought back my kitty. Thank you. Chrono, you're so sweet. Aww. Yeah, I'm so sweet. I'm also so very competitive, apparently. So let's see. Let's do this. So I think you need to drink like 8 to win. Yeah, there we go. Ah, I remember this being a lot harder than it is. Not bad. I'll put 5 silver points on your card. Oh, Chrono, you're awfully competitive, aren't you? See, I killed it. So it's like, I think, 4 or 5 interactions you need to do to move on in the game. One of which is speaking to Melchior here. I don't want the blade. By the way, is there any chance you could talk that like, young lady to selling her pendant to me? Nope. Because that gets held against me. No. Lucas' device is all set up now, you know? Just go straight to the back of the square. Oh, yeah, so it's like 3 actions. Just like the cut, I guess play a minigame and then go talk to Melchior. And the annoying thing is that now, every time I speak to any of the NPCs, they're gonna tell me that, hey, by the way, go do the thing. Yeah. I'm gonna get like another 5 points here and then get the rest from Elgato, or like whatever his name is. It's like 4, 5. And if you're wondering why we've spent 36 minutes playing a game without ever getting into a combat, then, like I did say, it's kind of a unique JRPG. If you want... Oh, Gados. Okay, Gado is like not El Gado. Fair enough. So, yeah. This is kind of like probably your first exposure to combat in the game. They call me Gado, I have metal joints. If you can beat me up, you learn 15 points. In Japanese, his name is Gonzalez? Really? Oh, wow. That's actually silly. Do. Oh, yeah, we don't actually have text yet. Hey, critical, nice. Too far to counterattack. So yeah, this is kind of like the shtick with this fight. This is also like a nice introduction to how the game works, because most of the enemies in the game have some kind of hidden mechanic, let's call it like that. This guy will counterattack if you try to hit him with melee attacks and he's close enough. He's also a nice source of like getting your first tech or two. Cause I don't know, should we like go for what's it called? Should we like go for the just like getting the cat and like cat food for like Chrono's place as well? It's like what the other 2 mini games do in like Bekenstein's tent. And if you want to see something even more interesting, you can actually bring Marl back to Chrono's house and show her to his mom. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I've never seen you bring any girls around except for Luca. Who's this pretty new friend? I'm Marl. Nice to meet you. Marl, you say? Have we met somewhere before? I could swear I recognize you. Perhaps it's just my imagination. Skillful hint for later on. Can I get like... oh, yeah, we can actually go heal up here, I think. No? Yes. So yeah, remember when I said that the writing in this game is like not the writing as like per se, but the pacing is very tight. That little bit of dialogue that I just got, which was kind of optional, it's a hint for later. As is a lot of the things that you do in this game, actually. Maybe do one more fight. So yeah, another thing this fight like teaches you is kind of like the importance of positioning. Because if I just like let him wander for a bit, I can very easily make him walk to the point where he can't counterattack anymore. You can do like the shitty like song attack that does like 1 or 2 or 3 damage, I guess. So yeah, now he's close enough to Marl to like pummel here a little bit, so that's kind of a problem. Sorry, man. Like the headset plug isn't like plugging correctly, so I'm kind of like randomly losing sound on my left ear, like ear cup. So I kind of have to like jiggle it a little bit so that it connects correctly. I think we can try one more. I mean, it will probably be fine if Marl just like gets like her first tech, because I think it's like a heal, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a lot easier at that point to kind of like do stuff. Come on, move away from me. There we go. Too far to counterattack. I can probably risk it. Oh, okay, critical. That's fine. I thought I should have gotten a level by this point. Oh, never mind. I did get a level. I thought I could actually get a tech by this point. Never mind. TP needed 2. Okay, so we need another 2 TP. And another 7 for Aura. Yeah, by the time you learn Aura, it's a lot easier to kind of like farm these points. I don't remember if there's like any place to heal in the in like the carnival. I don't want to do the 40-point challenge though, because that's where you get like a replica of Chrono for like later in the game, like way later in the game. Mimic, what do you see? Oh, hold on. X, A, Y, B. Left arm, right arm, love surprise. God, I'm gonna mess this up. God. This like gets faster and faster, by the way. God. Whew. Oh my god, this is actually like a lot faster when you're doing it on like the Xbox controller. Wow. I can't believe I got it first try. I'll send this Doppeldoll to Chrono's house. Yes. So how many points do I have? 20. Guess we can try like getting a cut. Probably. No, wait, the cut is like 80 points, right? So... I don't actually remember how that one goes. Let's see. So like the second and third time that you do the 40-point minigame, you get like cat food, I think, or something like that. So I don't remember what the 10-point game is. Oh, it's like the shuffle minigame. God damn it. I'm Biggs. I'm Wedge. I'm Piet. Oh. Also, the chat server seems to be randomly disconnecting. So if anyone like typed anything and I haven't replied, it just like keeps resetting for whatever reason. Ah! Damn it. So what do you actually like win from these? Sorry, I might need to check this out. Guessing game costs 10 silver points. Afterwards, you just find out the three at random. I think the correct one will record with a Poyozzo doll. Oh, okay. Winning the game awards you with a pet cat. Okay. Okay. That's like the 80-point game. Okay. Should we try and like get 80 points and like try and get a cut? It's not like a very major thing in the game. And you also do need to get like food for it as well. Actually, I think it might be a good idea to go rest before we do the next bit. Nope, not at the truce in. We have like a free bed. Like our bed. Free bed. Okay. So yeah, that's like the doll that I just won. I'm just gonna like go on with the game. I guess it's not like it doesn't really even like matter, to be honest, to do that. Although you can also go dancing with Marl. Let's see, if I remember correctly, there we go. Like any button except the interact button and the cancel button will make you dance in this area alone. Yep. You can dance along with Y, X, right bumper and left bumper too. Ah. Yeah, I think basically we've done what we can. Maybe I should like try it's like quite possible to just like grind Gado for like hours on end. Just like go and rest for free at the shop. I may have done this like 1 or 2 times to see if it would break the game. It doesn't really. Like all you've got access to is like maybe a silver sword for 4,000 gold. And that's more or less it, to be honest. It's something that we will get later on in the game anyway, and it's not even like that strong. Just a minute, I want to get some candy. So yeah, this is another trick here. If I, for any reason, decide to move or like press any button, she's like, "Oh my god, don't rush me," and then it's gonna get used against me later on. But if I just like hold perfectly still, I am a good boy and I get to pass the test. Excuse me, I'd like one of these. Sure, young miss. Thanks for waiting. Okay. Step right on up, Annie with the time and courage. Our first ever hyperdimensional transporter is the invention of the century. Simply hop up here, and you'll be teleported here. This fantastic machine is the masterwork of my beautiful and brilliant daughter, Luca. She's also like doing like a little pose, if you see. That's so cool. Luca invented this thing. Wonder what will go wrong this time. What does teleport mean? This contraption is supposed to transport objects in the blink of an eye. Give it a try, kid. Oh, it's you, Chrono. Chrono, I was wondering when you'd show up. No one wants to try my teleport. Would you be so kind? Oh, this will be fun. I'll watch while you try it out. It's like, I'll watch while you get disintegrated. Just hop onto the left pod. So, fun fact, on New Game Plus, the right pod over, like, there... It's like kind of hard to be on this side of the screen, actually. But yeah, the right pod is also an access point to one of the secret endings. You can't actually do it on, like, New Game. I've tried. You need to be in New Game Plus for the secondary portal to kind of, like, open there. It's, like, basically the way to access one of the game's endings. Oh, amazing! It worked? I mean, it worked. So how was it? Want to try again? It worked! Unbelievable! They never... As I was saying, Luca has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. A thrilling display of science at its best. You can, like, keep doing that forever. That looks like fun. I want to try too. Huh? Chrono, when did you manage to pick up a cutie like her? Wow. It's alright, isn't it? Just wait right here. Don't run off on me. Oh, if you only knew. Behold, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, as this vision of loveliness steps aboard the machine. Hee. Okay, I'll be right back. You're sure about this? There's still time to change your mind. No way, I'm not afraid. Well, that will soon change. Okay, everyone, let's give her a great big hand when she teleports from the platform. System activated. Initiating energy transfer. Whoa, something's wrong. Check it out. Like the effects here. What's happening? My pendant, it's... Huh? And of course something goes wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. Because of course it does. Luca, she's not reappearing. Alright, as you can see, the girl has vanished before your very eyes. Show's over, folks. Move along. What just happened? Where is she? The way she disappeared, that couldn't have been the telepod. The way that rift appeared and the way her pendant seemed to be reacting to it. Something else must have caused it. What are we supposed to do now? Is there any way we can help her? That girl's face was so familiar. I know I've seen her somewhere. Yeah. So basically you're not like left with any other option. I think like even if you can like escape. Chrono, where do you think you're going? You brought that girl here. You just can't abandon her. I mean, way to guilt trip me. Wow. Chrono, you're going after her. What a fine lad. Or something like that. It's the only way. I don't know where that hole leads, but we've got no other choice. It's worth a shot. So yeah, the wonders of time travel. Accidental time travel, but yeah, still. Oh, why is my chat like disconnecting all the time? Is like Twitch having an oopsie again? Let's check. Oh, sorry. Need more power. Whoa. Why is it? I can't stream. It just keeps like disconnecting from the chat server for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. If anyone's typing anything in chat and I'm not seeing it, if it's not appearing down there, then it's not appearing in chat. So I'm sorry. I'm totally not ignoring you. What the hell? These are the weird things, I guess. Oh, if only I had grinded enough to get the Cyclone tech. And I'm gonna get it now anyway, so it's like 3 TP, yeah. Learn Cyclone. So this is the spell sort of system of the game. This is how it works basically. You get techs. These techs need to be unlocked with TP, which you get after winning fights. If you see, this one also has an element, which is like the little like I don't know, like where can I like put it? Like it's like so hard to be like on this side of the. Like have my camera up here, like instead of like the usual corner down below. But yeah, when it says like the little star thing means there's like an element associated with it. In this case, Chrono's attacks I think are all like light specific. But yeah, here's Cyclone. Oh wait, yeah, you can't actually hit both of them. So let me just like let them like get closer. Show you something. Come on, there we go. See, Cyclone is a tech that has like an AoE thingy. So I can hit more than one enemy if they are close enough. It's kind of interesting. This is something that like at the time other JRPGs didn't really do. Like at least the Final Fantasy ones, and I'm sure like Dragon Quest didn't do this either. Oh, Power Glove, okay. It's like slightly less speed, but that's fine. Chrono actually gets his speed maxed out like very easily, just by like leveling most of the time. There we go. But yeah. It's like the bare basic of tech. You get TP, like it says in the chat there. Actually, I just noticed that I could probably like move my camera to here and not really like block much, hopefully. So that should be fine. Also, what the hell? What is this? Question mark. This isn't how I left things in like 1000 AD. And in like true I guess was like a series about a guy that like accidentally traveled through time. It's like Sliders or something like that. Where are you, you say? Some sort of simpleton? Even a half-wit should know this is the land of Guardia. Our kingdom wages war with the Fiend Lord's army day and night, fighting to restore the realm's peace. It's like a flashback to that lady at the fair that said that 400 years ago, we fought and won against the armies of the Fiend Lord. Oh, praise be, they found Queen Lynn wandering up in the canyon. She'd be missing for so long, I'd feared the worst. She must be back at the castle by now, getting some much-needed rest. Aha, and then this guy comes in. Oh. Who is Toma? You an outsider too? The name's Toma. I'm an explorer. If you can spare 10G to buy this round, I'll be a storyteller too. So we get actually a few hints from this guy for like way later in the game. Well then, a promise is a promise. It's about the missing queen. My travels have taken me to the cathedral in the Western Wood, and there's something most peculiar about that place. It's only a hunch, but... Beg your pardon? They found Queen Lynn in the canyon? It seems my suspicions were misplaced. Well, not really, but you know. Later on, you do get to confirm his suspicions, I guess. And like later still from that, he's also the source of some of the optional items you can get in the game. Like I think this is the guy that tells you where to get the rainbow shell. If I'm not mistaken, like sorely. Or maybe it's like the sunstone? I don't actually remember, but anyway, there's like this guy gives you more hints later on about, you know, optional stuff. I'm Banta, the village blacksmith. I'm forging this bell at the queen's behest. As a king's behest, whoa. As a symbol of his love for Queen Lynn. The queen's vanishing act had me wondering if all this work would be for naught. After all, what's the bell without the queen, eh? But it seems they found her in the canyon up north. She's back at the castle now, and I'm back to work. My husband wants a daughter, both clever and fair. Well, you're getting a son, so it sucks for you. Or like getting like several sons, I guess. And grandsons. So basically, if you hadn't really like caught on to what had happened, we have just traveled 400 years to the past. To a point where the Xenon Bridge is now broken. Because stuff. It doesn't stay broken for long. And as we are about to find out, Marl is actually not Marl. She's, well, you'll see. I don't want to like spoil that just yet. Too much. Oh wow, this guy actually survives. Got a strength capsule. So capsules in this game are items that increase your stats. This one is a trap. Yeah, well, that's fine. I kind of like want the XP for this. I want to get a crit. No. Okay, fine. So yeah, we are basically going to be hoarding the capsules until maybe like the second half of the game. Because there's like not a lot of benefit in using them early on. Like enemies aren't like that hard. Like another fight here. Thank you. Like enemies aren't like that hard, so I kind of have to like boost my stats. And later on I get access to, you know, all the characters, so I can kind of like distribute them as I see fit. Like, for example, it's kind of like pointless to like be using speed capsules on Chrono, because he gets like his max of 40, I want to say, pretty early on. Like, earlier still, if you actually go and use a few like items, like there's like a belt, belt of something that gives you like +3 strength, so it's like a lot easier to kind of like max it out. So basically what ends up happening is like Chrono, which is usually your strongest fighter, also gets to go first in like 90% of the fights. It's kind of nice, especially when you get like the magical techs. Like the final one that you get is called like Luminaire or something like that, and that one just like clears house. It's like quite literally just like eradicates all enemies. Easy. 60p, 120G. Yes. Chrono is both very strong, has one of the best magic and very fast. Yeah, it's like a it's like a bit unbalanced is all I'm saying. So yeah, this is another one of those boxes. You can actually see it. Is there like a good place I could be like putting my camera so that it's not like in the way? Probably not. There's like actually a box behind me, see? I mean, I don't know, maybe if I kind of like did this? I don't like this though. Feels like a bit maybe this would have been fine for like other games, but I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Oh well, full screen experiences and all that. Yeah. Halt! Who goes there? I've not seen your face before. And those outlandish clothes. Wouldn't be one of the Fiend Lord's agents, would we? Ha! Fat chance, look at him. That boy's not built to lift a sword, let alone serve the Fiend Lord's army. Heh, suppose you're right. Now run along, boy, before we're forced to lock you up in the towers. Stop that at once. Queen Lean! G++. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually like done like a lot of NG+ cycles generally. I just like did like fresh runs, to be honest. Who may that be? Ooh. That's Queen Lean, and yet not really. Shocking, isn't it? Get the ether. So I think this way goes to the dungeon, right? I mean, I always kind of figured that like with a lot of levels, Magus was probably gonna be like the second strongest character. Just because like generally the game tends to be very powerful either in light or in dark magic, or like not light but actually lightning spells are kind of like very powerful generally, the ones that Chrono uses. So because later on in the game every character gets associated with like a specific element, with like one exception, which is Magus, and he's kind of like an optional character as well, so you know, he doesn't really count. Magus is in fact the only character that can use like more than one element of spell. Like another black chest here. Just between you and I, the Chancellor has been acting strangely these days. I've spied him sneaking out of the castle time and time again. Wonder what that means. Ho ho ho. People think the Chancellor's behavior is strange, but I don't find it troubling at all. The Chancellor is a man of strong faith. Why, he goes to Manolia Cathedral every day to pray. Bronze armor. Oops, sorry. Yeah, Magus is the second strongest in the game. I guess it all kind of like comes down to like what tribal text everyone can use. And like I think that Chrono is in most overall. I want to say like either Marl or like Luca is like the second most used character, right? Go to high-end bruiser party for new games, Chrono Magus Frog or Chrono Magus Ayla. Usually, like what I end up playing as is like as soon as Frog gets like the heal spell, because you need like a healer, right? Most of the times, like as soon as Frog gets like what access to water magic and heal, or like even like Slurp Kiss. No, wait, Slurp Kiss is like the combo with Ayla, right? So yeah, he gets like Slurp, which is like a small heal. You get like Chrono, Frog, and then generally I just like use whatever third party member fits best with all the like wherever I'm like heading to. It's usually like Marl is kind of interesting because her dual tech with Frog kind of like heals the entire party, but the same can be said with like Robo, I guess, because he does like that whirl thing that heals everyone. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But then again, just to clarify, like what like JLC and I are talking about here is like very, very much deeply into like min-maxing territory. You don't really need to do any of that to have a good time with the game, and generally you don't really need to do that to even like do like the harder content. Because again, it's like a very well-balanced game, I guess, in that regard. Like most parties are kind of like viable one way or another. So yeah, there you are. Wonder who this is. Remind anyone of anything? Please leave us. I need to have words with this man in private. As you wish, Your Majesty. Like, if I'm being honest, I like most of the time I kind of like used whoever had like the coolest looking tribal text. And like Chrono, Robo, and Ayla have like one that's called like Lifeline, which is quite interesting. I like the combination of Luca and Marl for their antipode dual tag as well. That's kind of like interesting. And then we get like antipode 2 as well, because it's like the fire 2 and ice 2, like, or like a fire 2 and ice 2 combo. Robo and Luca both need more speed. Yeah, fair enough. But just like in case, because I know Posh hasn't played this game, it's like important to note that most, if not all, party combinations are viable one way or another. And I think that kind of comes from not having like a big cast. So like everyone's got like balanced strengths and weaknesses, except maybe Chrono, who Chrono doesn't have like quite as many weaknesses. If any. Fooled you, didn't I, Chrono? It's me, Marl. But everyone keeps calling me Lean for some reason. Well, you lied to me. They know what they're doing. I'm glad you came. We were only together for that short time at the fair, but somehow I knew you'd come for me. 3 Truce Kids. Oh, yeah, I remember. That's like the tutorial that I didn't do. Thank you, Chrono. Uh-oh. Something's wrong. What's happening? I feel like I'm being torn apart. So yeah, remember when I said the game has like slightly darker moments? This might be one of them. Help me, Chrono. I'm scared. It's like I'm dying. Please, Chrono, help. Check out your character sprite, by the way. So yeah, she just like disintegrated into pieces. And suddenly, Luca is here. Wait, no, not here. Hold on. It's like somewhere here. Give me a moment. Chrono! It's me! Somehow the guards let me through. Whew, you're okay. Did you find the girl? No. She what? She disappeared? It's just as I thought then. Listen, we need to speak. I knew I recognized her from somewhere. Chrono, that was... We seem to be in Guardia, but it looks a lot older than the Guardia we're from. If it's like back in time, shouldn't it look like a lot newer? They must have mistaken that girl for her ancestor. For those of you not following along, yes, Marl is actually Prince Nadia, and she's the descendant of like whoever Queen Lin is in this timeline. After all, that girl was our Princess Nadia. I like the shocked expression, like the Marl, it's Princess Nadia, is a descendant of Queen Lin. So, may I just say how much I like the little like trick of them making the descendants have the same character model, but just like changing the hairstyle slightly to show that it's a different person. Although like the first and third generation are kind of like the same, so Queen Lin was kidnapped and someone was supposed to have gone and saved her, but now history's been changed. Marl looks so much like the queen that they probably called off their search when she appeared. But if the real queen is kicked. Yep, it's a time paradox. Causality. Marl will never have existed, but there might still be enough time. If we can save the queen, history as we know it should remain unchanged. So yeah, would it surprise anyone to know that the game doesn't really go out of that tone much for the next 20 odd hours? Because it really doesn't. It's like a jolly good adventure of time traveling and save the future. It's kind of funny, but you know, I love this game. It's got like just the right amount of like serious bits and silliness, and it kind of like meshes both of those like so well together. Oh, he's out of range. Damn it. But yeah, it meshes the dramatic and the like light-hearted stuff so well that I don't know. It's just such a nice game. It's also like again a very lean game. It doesn't have a lot of like unnecessary stuff. Even like the side quests kind of in some ways tie into the main cast in some ways. Oh, damn it. I forgot that like cursor memory is there. Keep forgetting I should stop like mashing keys because I'm just like using attacks that I don't mean to. Or maybe like disable memory cursor. Okay, we got flamethrower. Yes. Look, I learned flamethrower. Learned fire will do on tech. So this is the second part of how the combat system works. If you've got two characters with... Oh, not auto. Stop. If you've got two characters with compatible skills, such as... Hold on. Such as Lucas Flamethrower and Chrono Cyclone, you can combine them. So when both characters have a turn available, you can use both of them to do what's called a dual tech. In this case, Chrono does a Cyclone, and then, well, basically Luca kind of like lights it on fire, the Cyclone, as it kind of like happens. Let me show you. There we go. So for the most part, dual tech attacks will kind of have both properties of like their base tech. So it has the AoE, like the point of attack AoE of Cyclone, and it will have the fire element of Flamethrower. Like, see, it's like got like a... It kind of like tells you down here about that. So like Cyclone plus Flamethrower. So the interesting thing is that like most characters have a lot of these. Like I think there's like something close to like maybe 40 dual techs in the game overall. Because you've got like damage ones, you've got heal ones, you've got like utility ones, and all of them are kind of combinations of existing regular techs. The benefit is that you usually get like a lot bigger effect by combining two texts together rather than just like using both individually. The side effect, I guess, like the drawback to that is that you usually have to you have to sacrifice both characters' turns to do it, and it's also usually very SP intensive compared to just like using individual attacks, because remember, both characters are kind of using their mana, like their SP pools, to cast their respective abilities. And later on, because the party has a limit of 3 characters, you also get what's called a triple tech, and those are like by far the most fun you like see in the game, because those they're kind of like how summons worked in Final Fantasy games, in that they're like very flashy and they have like more special effects than like the regular attacks. There's like one, like the lifeline one I was talking about before, has like Robo and Ayla kind of like spin around and throw Chrono so hard that he kind of like slashes through like the midway point of the screen. Yeah, late game you do more damage with like single text, but dual text have like a lot of added effects. So they're usually like a lot better in utility if you know where to use them. So, we got a hint earlier that the Chancellor has been acting weirdly and he's been coming to Manolia Cathedral a whole bunch. And if you hear the music, you might think something's wrong, and you'd be right. We pray for the peace of our world. We are ever so devout. Tee-hee-hee. O great Lord and Master, deliver your judgment upon the weak and undeserving, that we might reclaim the future for ourselves in your name. Oh, how delightful looking you are. If you needed any more hints that something isn't right here, why not say prayer for yourselves? Yep, if you couldn't like understand that something's wrong, then what a surprise. Remember the king mentioning something about a turquoise hairpin? Hairpin? Hey, this is Guardia's royal crest. Oh no, we've been made. These aren't nuns. They're boo-blades, nagas. I think regular attack could like do it here. Yeah, again, the real clue gets mentioned in the castle that there's like 2 clues actually, that the Chancellor hasn't been acting like he's been acting suspiciously lately, and then the maid in like the king's room kind of tells you that yeah, he's not suspicious at all. He goes to pray at Manolia Cathedral every single day. Nagaites are super weak to fire. Yeah, I know. Whoa. Ack. What is this? A third-party member? Is he like the best swordsman ever in like this universe? Is he also very amazing? Is he also kind of a frog? And that's his name actually? Yes to all of these. He's actually my favorite character in this game. Everyone's weak to Glenn. Yeah, I know. If I were of like a certain disposition, I would probably call Glenn my waifu. Yeah, but not really. But I love this character because he has the best theme in the game. He's got the best backstory in the game, and he speaks like he came out of like a medieval fantasy Tolkien book. Lower your guard, and you allow the... Oh wait, did they change his dialogue? You've come to save the queen? Please tell me they didn't change his dialogue to make it more modern. I remember him using a lot more like thys and thous and thines and, you know. The fiend's lair lies within, it would seem. Would you accompany me? You're a... Chrono! It's a giant talking frog! You know I can't stand frogs. Oh, there we go. I suppose I ought not expect you to trust me, looking as I do. Very well. Do as you please, but I must save the queen. No, wait. Wait! You don't seem like a bad frog. I mean, person. I mean, what should we do? Go with the frog. Always go with the frog. Right. I guess I'll just have to get over my aversions to slimy and moist-skinned creatures. So, what's your name? That was fast. Frog. He also has like the happiest looking portrait in the game. Seriously. Even though like I know like the source image is kind of like him chasing like a fly or something, I think, and like knocking some books over if memory serves. But yeah, it's like the happiest character portrait you're ever gonna see in this game. Frog will suffice. He also has like a huge arm. Like check it out. Like his fist is actually bigger than his head. See? All right. Nice to meet you, Frog. Swole, yes, exactly. And you as well. This room must conceal a hidden passage. Let us search every corner. Well, we don't actually need to search every corner, cause we know where to go. So Glenn is like more of a melee-based character. He does get a few interesting spells later on, but primarily he's kind of like a... I guess you'd call him like a paladin archetype, because he does get some heals as well later on. Okay, did I also mention that he's like very good at slashing things with his sword? Because he is. And he actually does like slightly more damage than Chrono with like melee weapons, especially if you get like the Masamune later on in the game. And you also get the hero's badge that kind of like more or less guarantees criticals with every like third or so slash of the Masamune. Athenian water. Wait, Athenian water? I don't remember this. Did they change the item names? Yeah, it's like the revive thingy then. Fine. Okay, we got the maiden suit. Okay. Mirror, obtain hidden Naga bromide. This is something for later. Ho 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 ho. Yeah, I do know like I do remember a few things about this game actually. So the Naga bromide is something that you need to give to an old guy later on in the game. I want to say like 1000 AD, although I'm not like 100% sure of that. It might also be like in 600 AD, and I think you get like a capsule like reward for it. I'm not like 100% sure about that though. I mean, just like I just remember you get it from here and you give it to like a very, very thirsty old man. Prometheus program. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I do remember that like the guy is like very lecherous or something. I never really like figured that out to be honest, but yeah, I get why now. Flirtatious photograph. Yep. Like I said, he's very thirsty. The old guy. Steel saber. Okay, that's for Chrono. Yeah. You're humans? They've hidden the queen in the back. Please rescue her. Somewhere within this complex there's a shrine to the Fiend Lord. I heard there's treasure to be found there as well. And another strength capsule. But yeah, I like when the first time I played this game, I was so puzzled because they were like the old man was like, hey, thank you for this, and like in like a very lecherous kind of way. So I was like always, hold on. I was always like extremely puzzled, like why this guy was so happy about like a random item that I just found in like a monster lair. Also, does Luca come equipped with like the glasses item? Because I can like see the enemy's HP now. Does she? She does, doesn't she? Side scope. Yeah, there we go. What's with the disguises? Hurry up and change. No need to be walking around like humans in here. Love the music. It's almost time for my shift. I hate pretending to be human. They're so smelly and repulsive. It's demeaning. Yakra's a genius. He plans to imprison the Chancellor and take on his role work like magic. Now the Queen's ours and the castle is in an uproar. This is rich. Hey, those ones we ate last time weren't so bad, and those two soldiers we just caught look plump and juicy too. So, yeah, kind of like rushed out, but like the guy that just like ran past us, because it was time for his shift or something. That was the guy that was just like complaining about having to go on shift. Oh, you came to rescue me. How kind of you, but I assure you there's no need. The master of this place, Yakra, is so very kind. I've decided to stay here. Please make yourselves at home too. Well, wink wink. Did you by chance come to save Queen Lean? Oh, you did. That's good to know. Oh, how good of you to come. I'm sure Yakra would be pleased. Yep, please pass the time in here with us until he has a time. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's like a later on. And this is where we kind of like find out that these guys worship Magus. I did mention Magus a little bit earlier. And, well, let's just say that's like for slightly later in the game. I don't really want to have like the side scope on anyone, but like speed belt on Luca sounds good. It gives +2 speed. I think I probably want to use a few potions though. There's like a pretty big fight here. Oh, great Magus, Magus the Great, your eyes are brighter than the stars. You're flowing here like waves atop the sea. Blah, 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 blah. Come, join us in singing your funeral dirge. Like generally most of them are quite like easy to kill with like a fire whirl. I should probably have used like the flamethrower to try like catch 3 of them in like a diagonal line, because like the other thing that attacks have is kind of like a area property. So Cyclone will kind of like do like a small radius around the target. Flamethrower kind of does like a line between the caster and the like whoever you're attacking, so like every enemy in that line gets hit. And there's like other ones that like take up the entire screen and so on and so forth. So that's like yet another thing that you need to pay attention to while playing the game. And oh, wait a minute, another fight. Don't be such a hurry to leave. Please take the time to enjoy yourselves with us. Snakes in a chubble. Don't think we can actually hit. No, wait, we can. I don't really want to like waste much speed. So the second part of the dungeon here, I think does have like a way to replenish your kind of like rest actually. So that's not that much of an issue. to be using all of my MP. Frog learned Slurp Slash. Learned X Strike Dual Tech. That's like Chrono and what's it called? It's like Chrono and Frog. Cyclone plus Slurp Slash. Cross slash an enemy. I think this one does like an X attack pattern, kind of like crosses in the middle of like whatever the target you're hitting is. This is also the attack that's used in the intro cutscene to fight the big skeleton dude, if anyone remembers that. Oh wait, he already has like Slurp. That's nice. I totally forgot that. It's like a very cheap, very fast way to kind of heal. And Frog doesn't really use his MP for like much else anyway. Also, by the way, a lot of these fights you can avoid, but it usually pays to kind of like at least try and do the fights on your way into a location. Because, you know, all the TP that you kind of like get. Like, for example, if you see Frog doesn't learn anything else after this, there's kind of like a reason for this in the game. But more kind of like get unlocked later on. So yeah, see, X Strike is like just like a single target thing. But yeah, it's usually kind of like a good idea in general to just like try and do all encounters at least one, because like the game kind of like respawns them eventually. So maybe on your way out you don't really like want to kind of do them again. Like much easier to kind of like avoid everything, but you know. Nope. Don't move. Hello. One shot cleared. Haha. Kind of forgotten how much like JRPGs with like no voice acting kind of like can hurt your like throat. You like have to keep reading everything out. There's like a save point. Slidey. Yep. I'm going to ignore the butts if I can, because they do kind of like a... They do like this annoying thing where it's like very hard to hit them. Sign no entry. Anasia and potion. Okay. Okay, now it's like disabled everything, but this is it. Shelter. So another cool thing, did you just see what Luca did there? So ranged characters have a special attack. If like whoever you tell them to attack is too close to them, they will, instead of attacking with like the regular ranged animation, they will instead like try to bash them with the butt of their weapon. There's like only 2 ranged characters, and you've met both of them already. It's Luca that uses kind of like guns, and then there's Marl who uses crossbows. Ayla, Frog, Robo, Chrono, and well, Magus actually all use melee weapons, so it doesn't really apply to them. In their case, they kind of like run up to the enemy and kind of like try and bash them in the head with it. But for Marl and Luca, you get like a cool little like attack with like the stock, I guess, or like the handle of their weapon, which is interesting. I believe like regular. I believe also that, if I'm not mistaken, that like regular. What is it? How did you see their stats? I forget. It's like this. Okay. So I believe that actually accuracy determines like the damage for ranged characters, but if they are like too close, they use strength instead. Which is why like later on in the game, we are like more or less trying to avoid as much as possible to have the ranged characters attack enemies that are like too close. And there are like some attacks later on that allow you to kind of like manipulate enemies' positioning, and they're not that great, to be honest, but you know. But yeah, by the time it matters, they're like mostly like primarily spellcasters anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. But I mean, it's kind of like a nice little, you know, trivia there, right? Like it's kind of interesting. Like specifically in this game, there are like so many little touches like that that are probably going to go unnoticed by most people unless they're like paying attention. Because I mean, for a 1995 JRPG, this is like, I think at least that it's kind of like advanced stuff, if that makes sense. Saved. Then we go fight Yakra the 19th or something like that. Oh, that's like his grandpa, I guess. Prepare yourself, Queen Lean. It is time you bid farewell to this world. How fortuitous. Like, just got there. Nope. You, how did you get in here? Frog. Flee, your majesty. We shall dispatch this fiend. Yep. Be careful. Ha! There's no use in fighting. None of you will leave this place alive. Intolerable frog. Let us see you hop your way out of this. Enough of this Chancellor charade. I like the lightning effects. That's like so stupid. Ah, it's Yakra, the first boss. Well, if you don't count Gado. The Chancellor transformed into Yakra. There's like a special mechanic here, I think. It's like, I guess, every time you attack, he does the little charge thingy. Yeah. Middle spin. Oh wow. I I don't actually remember how you counter this, to be honest. Huh. Yeah, I know. I mean, clearly. I just don't remember if there's like a way to make him stop counter-attacking. Nope, she's dead. Nope, no, she's not. Yeah, see, I don't actually remember him moving at all. No. Wait. Oh, wait. Was the mechanic that he actually has like MP and like once that runs out, he can't cast it anymore? Huh. That might have been it. So you just like basically have to like weather it, I guess. Not that it's like that hard to kind of like out-heal that. The counter-attack only does like 15 or so damage at most. Frog's level increased. No, let me loot things. Stop. Also, I love the victory theme. His Majesty awaits most anxiously. We should return to the castle. Like, I'm very sure that they changed his dialogue. They made it like more modern, and that sucks. It should be like, I thank thee, Chrono and Luca, for all thine aid, or something like that. I was like, I'm like very, very sure of that. Hey, Elder Mammoth. Welcome, how's it going? How are we doing tonight? It's like the real Chancellor. Do-do-do-do. My thanks. That monster stuffed me in there like a sack of coin. I'm gonna put in some laws that are gonna majorly inconvenience you in the future. I mean... Oh, Your Majesty. Sweaty lobbies? Oh. Heat kind of like flaring up again over there. That sucks. Let us be on our way. You cannot know how I worried, Lean. Yakra, that vile beast, impersonating me and kidnapping the queen. You must institute a stricter criminal justice system in this kingdom to ensure such fiends never threaten the royal family's safety again. Lovely and raining now. Oh, I wish that was like the case here. It's like kind of like hot in Cyprus. Although it is kind of like lower. Like I no longer need like to have the AC on at night when I kind of like go to sleep. So that's amazing. Let's see. The temperature at the moment is like a very mild for the time. 24. High rank players are using slide and only playing the meta guns. Oh, I mean, See, this is one of the reasons I don't play shooters, like online shooters generally, or like most other kinds of online games. But yeah, if you're wondering what this guy's saying, this is going to be very relevant in a little while. And also with all the actions I took or did not take during the first part in the Millennial Fair. It's like basically the game just like lives on like the whole causality thing. Yeah, they totally changed his dialogue. I am disgraced. I failed to protect my queen. Also, this is like probably the most kick-ass character theme in the game. Except maybe Shala's theme. That's also like very good. It's like this theme What, like the Winds of Darkness? I mean, I never really liked that one. It's like they actually got like a better beat than the two that I mentioned. But Frog's theme, here's like the really good thing about it. It sounds heroic. It sounds, epic, I guess. And more importantly, it actually tells you everything you need to know about the character. It's like it kind of like evokes honor. It evokes kind of like justice, I guess. And that's kind of like what Frog is all about. I am disgraced. I failed to protect my queen. Frog, where are you going? God damn it. Let's go talk to him. It was my presence here that endangered the queen. I can remain at this castle no more. Yeah, they totally changed his voice lines. God freaking damn it! That was like the most unique thing about the guy. He spoke like he was from 600 AD all throughout the game. Why did they change that? Chrono, you've the makings of a great swordsman. Poor Froggy. Maybe frogs aren't so bad after all. I'm forever in your debt. Who knows what would have happened to me had you not come a little later than you did. By the way, what became of the girl that was mistaken from me? Holy shit! I totally forgot about that. Quickly! I totally didn't forget about that. And she's now miraculously wearing the clothes that she did before she became a queen. Huh? What happened? Princess Nadia. Chrono. And weird purple-haired lady. It was awful. I was so afraid. Hold me closer. Couldn't see or feel anything, but I knew I was someplace cold. I wonder if that's what it's like to die. Your Highness, Wait a minute. Your Highness? Came to help me too. Wait, Your Highness? Uh-oh. Hee hee hee. See? Suddenly remembered this. I guess you guys figured me out, huh? Sorry, Chrono. I didn't mean to trick you. I just randomly said lies. It wasn't real. My name is really Nadia, and this is why I didn't change the name to Nadia, because then Nadia and my name is really Nadia. It kind of annoys me. My father's King Guardia the 33rd, I think. It's 33, right? I just wanted to go to the fair and have fun like everyone else. But if you'd known who I really was, you wouldn't have shown me around the fair, would you? I mean, yes, I would have. Oh, that's why you're so awesome. That's why I like you. That's why we can get married in the best ending. I mean, nope, never mind. Spoilers. The real queen's safe, right? Let's go home. And that's the end. Thank you for the stream, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, if only it would have ended here. It's quite literally not how JRPGs work. Okay? Yeah, I wonder what what all the intro was about, all those characters and stuff that it showed us. Chrono learned Wind Slash, Luca learned Hypno Wave, but Marl didn't learn her second tech, so she doesn't get combos with Luca and Chrono yet. Aura Whirl is probably the best early game tech though, because you can just go ham on attack, and whenever you go low on health, just cast Aura Whirl, and everyone in the party is suddenly fully healed. I mean, it doesn't heal for that much, but you don't have that much HP to begin with, so Okay, we get Aura Whirl, and I guess whatever no combo with Luca yet. I think like her second one has a combo. Allure. No, wait, Allure is the one that charms them, right? Or like lowers their attack or something like that? I mean, does it say then? Confuse enemy, yeah, it's like a confusion thingy. This one puts them to sleep. It doesn't have a dual tech with any of the current characters, but it does have some with like Robo, I think, for starters. And I want to say with like Eyelash Charm as well. Well, that's like a lure that like has a dual tech with Charm. Got like some kind of like seduction thingy going with like kind of like amplifies the effect. Although maybe it is misremembering. I never really used those. Like you kind of need Eyelash Charm to steal things off of enemies. Which is like the I guess was like in 60s. I think it was like Locke was the thief character. I guess like JLC will correct me on this. You know, seeing as that's his like favorite like character from that game. But it's just like the designated I am stealing items off of enemies character. She even gets like an item that improves the efficiency of that. Like a helmet, I wanna say. Or something like that. You might be saying here, by the way, but Gregor, what about the rest of the map? Why don't we go and visit that too? I mean, just wait. Don't be impatient. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Is that like what the saying is? Don't get your panties in a bunch. Or in a twist, I guess. I don't know, depending on like which part of like the English-speaking world you're from. Knickers in a twist, yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure like in the United States like they say like panties in a bunch. Although I may just like be kind of like pulling that out of my ass. Metaphorically. Not literally. Oh. Multi-tiered jokes. Yes, still got it. Oh, never mind, I never had it, but yeah, still got it. So, how do we get home? Well, Your Highness, we... Please call me Marl. And like waving her hands wildly. Well then, Marl, observe! Aha! Whoa. Luca, you're amazing! Hee hee hee. I guess. Sorry, I should be more humble in front of... Oh, shut up. Enough already. I'm a princess, but what's that mean? I mean... Easy life, lots of money, bunch of land and titles. Probably gonna get murdered by the bourgeoisie when the revolution comes around. But yeah, other than that, I can't do anything special. But you're incredible. You're the means of product. I mean, no, go away from that. I trade my name for your genius in a heartbeat. Oh, blush. Blush, blush, blush. Anyway, I call these distortions gates. I call this one Bill. Get it? They're basically portals to the same location in a different time. But gates are unstable. That's why they appear and disappear all the time. So I use the principle behind my teleport device. Make this! To create this gate key. It's what's locking the gate in place. Why did the gate suddenly appear in the first place? I don't know. Either the teleport had something to do with it or something else made it. this is starting to sound complicated. It's a good thing the adventure has ended, so we don't really need to worry about it, right? The end. In we go. So, clearly this is not the end, but I'm kind of having to wonder here. Does the game ever really address who makes the gates? Because aside from like this voice line, there's like one at the ending of the game that kind of says that like maybe like some entity, like maybe like the planet or something, made the gates so that they could fight Lavos and like save humanity or like save the planet, I guess. But it's never like very explicitly stated, and even though I haven't finished the sequel, which is not really a sequel anyway, I haven't really ever finished Chrono Cross, so I don't really know if they mentioned that there at all. Because I do know that like Chronopolis, which is kind of like one of the last locations in that game, kind of has something to do with Chrono Trigger. But yeah, again, it's kind of iffy. Come back with me at the castle. I'm really sorry for putting you through all this, Marl. What are you talking about? It was the most fun I've had in months, and I made new friends too, and I even died in the process. Chrono Cross doesn't have the gates. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, no, I do know that Chrono Cross doesn't have the gates, but I'm kind of wondering if, like, somewhere in that game, they kind of, like, mention, like, what created the gates. But yeah, Chrono Cross is... Whereas Chrono Trigger is, like, a fun, exciting kind of, like, adventure through time with, like, your Scooby-Doo gang of, like, friends. Chrono Cross is kind of a more grim, more thoughtful, more offbeat RPG, which is more about alternate realities rather than time travel. Although, like at the last point that I had got to that game, they do explain that what happened in Chrono Trigger made all of the stuff in Chrono Cross possible. And that's like a massive spoiler, but you know, that's about it. But yeah, I'm actually very excited to go through Chrono Cross on stream as well, because I've never finished it. And if this game sounds a bit simple, it's because it is. But man, Chrono Cross has a lot to like discuss. Like so much to discuss. Also, you may note that like every save has a different title. That's because like from the PlayStation remaster onwards, every part of the game that you're in has its own kind of like chapter name. So A Vanished Princess is like the one we need to find Queen Lean, so that we can undo Marl disappearing in the time stream. Homecoming is this castle. Were they in the SNES version too? Really? Huh. Would you believe I've never noticed that? Huh. Okay, I guess you live and learn. I've actually gone through the SNES. Also, hey, we know secrets. Would you believe I've gone through that thing like twice and never noticed that? The only new thing to the PS1 version of the Toriyama cutscenes. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Also, hold on, it's like the ending that links it to Chrono Cross. That one was like with the DS version, right? You know, like the one that kind of like hints at like Shala and Kid and you know all of that. It was like the true epilogue cutscene. That was in the DS version for the first time, right? I want to say. I mean, there's certainly that ending is not in the original, at like the very least. Wait, wind slash. Oh, that's like a good point to like demonstrate the other type of like slash attacks. So this one just like travels in a straight line. So if you can line up more than one enemy at the same time, it's kind of like a very decent attack. Let's see if we can do it. Yep, there we go. Boom. Wait, why did I not hit like the one at the top? Oh, I think it may have like moved like 1 pixel too high. Possibly. I mean, yeah, I'm at least very sure that it wasn't in the original version, because I do know that it is known as a retconned ending just to tie in Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross. XP, 3 TP, still not second tech for Marv. How much more does she need for that? 18. That's not too shabby, I guess. Like 4 more fights, although I'm kind of like running out of enemies actually. Ding 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 ding. Food's here. Also, yeah, there's like a lot of very interesting themes in this game, like the combat theme, Chrono's like theme, I guess. Well, it's not actually called Chrono's theme. Like Frog's theme, Winds of Darkness, Corridor of Time, Zeal Island. All those are like very interesting themes. The Millennial Fair. I don't know, this is for me probably the game with the most memorable music from the SNES library. What is this? Why is there an open place here? Gee, I wonder. Surely it can't be for like stuff. It's like even the sad theme is kind of nice. What the hell? Princess Nadia! Chancellor, are you right? Where on earth have you been? We've heard you were abducted. We had soldiers combing the entire kingdom for you. You back there. You're the one, are you? Thought you'd kidnap the princess. Yes, and then brought her back, safe and sound. Seize him! Seize the filthy terrorist! He deceived our princess and plotted to overthrow the crown. Well, are you wondering if something's wrong here? Stop this right now! What are you fools doing? But Her Highness the Princess said... She's probably being brainwashed. It doesn't matter what she said. Seize him! So, welcome to the trial. The place where everything that I've done at the fair is going to be judged. Spoilers, it doesn't change the story at all, but you get a cool item or two if you've done enough things correctly. Like, not all the things, but enough things. I, your Chancellor, shall serve as the prosecutor. And I, Pierre, represent the defense. Members of the court, I will now bring forth the defendant, Chrono, who is charged with the abduction of Princess Nadia. I mean, to his credit, he actually does try to sound impartial, even though he's not. What shall be his fate? To burn at the stake, perhaps? To feel the tickler? Or hung upside down? Wait, the tickler? I want to say this was not in the official, in like the original release either. I think there's like something like an Iron Maiden or something like that. Or shall we employ the guillotine? The choice is yours, good jurors. Now let us begin. We shall first hear the testimony of the defense. Chrono is charged with premeditated abduction of royalty. The question is, how could he be guilty of a crime that never occurred? This guy got like a very Phoenix Wright vibe to him. The prosecution would have you believe that the defendant kidnapped the princess. However, the truth is quite on the contrary. Not only was their meeting a coincidence, but it was the princess herself who asked Chrono if she could join him. Is this true? Who was responsible for initiating contact? Well, actually, if you thought that Marl was because she's the one that talked to you, you'd be wrong. Because you were the responsible one according to the game because you bumped into her. So I was, and that counts in my favor because I'm, honest. The defendant deliberately approached the princess pretending it was an accident. Flashback. Although it didn't happen like this, right? The first time I played the game, I kind of thought, oh, this is so clever. It actually kept a recording of what I did. But it's just pre-made, which is still impressive. But, slightly less so if you can see through the smoke and mirrors. Having subdued the princess, the defendant then coerced her into visiting Lucas' little sideshow. There were countless witnesses to this. Shortly thereafter, both the princess and the defendant vanished. If that is not criminal abduction, I don't know what is. Several other actions have also been brought to my attention that call the defendant's character into question. Objection! This cannot possibly have any relevance to the case. Care to respond, Chancellor? Chrono's character is at the very core of this case, Your Honor. The evidence will show that his testimony cannot be trusted. Very well, we have nothing to hide. I would like to call a witness who can vouch for the... sorry, wrong voice. I would like to call for a witness who can vouch for the defendant's good character. It's like the little late kid with the cat. Yeah. So if you were wondering why we're helping the little kid, this is the reason. That man brought me my kitty back. Thank you, mister. Aww. How about that? The man before you is a fine, upstanding youth. He deserves to be honored, not put on trial. Whew, looks like they're buying it. Maybe don't say that out loud in front of the jurors. The real issue here is motive. Was there any motive for this good youth to kidnap Princess Nadia? No, there was none. Pardon me, but I believe the motive was quite clear. Greed. Her fortune did tempt you, did it not? Nope. Are you sure? You weren't in the least bit tempted? Yeah. Very well. No more questions, Your Honor. So, if you actually do try to convince her to sell the medallion to Melchior, that's kind of what gets brought up as a counterpoint to this. So, if you haven't, then they just take your word for it. I believe it was been made quite clear that my client is a fine and virtuous young man. The defense rests, Your Honor. So, now they vote. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Not guilty. There's always going to be a couple of guilty ones. And I always agonized how to get everyone to give me a non-guilty verdict. But I think you can't really kind of manage that. Not guilty. This one says guilty. Oh, never mind. Really? It's I remembered at least 2 finding me guilty. But I might be wrong then. A verdict has been reached. Remember, the defendant has been found not guilty. But even if he did not kidnap the princess, the fact remains that he aided in her flight from the castle. I sentence the accused to 3 days of solitary confinement as punishment. Take him away! So yeah, you end up in jail anyway. And for reasons that will soon become apparent, it doesn't really matter if you're guilty or not guilty. You just get some items at your cell. if that's the case. That's quite enough, young lady. But father, all I asked was for you to remain at the castle and behave like a princess. What's done is done. Even royalty must obey the laws of the land. Leave the rest up to the Chancellor and forget about your little escapade in town. We are through here. Also, Higa's theme, slightly inappropriate considering I'm not guilty. But, you know. Chrono! And also amazing like pixel art view here that is only ever seen in the game one more time. At the end of this sequence, if memory serves. So, why does it not matter if we are found not guilty? Because this happens. This man is a seditionist who meant to overthrow our kingdom. He has been found guilty by trial. I trust him to your care. I like how the guard says nothing. So, this is the monster who abducted the princess. His execution is 3 days hence. See that he is still here to attend it. Execution? I don't recall hearing anything about that. No cause for concern. There's only been a small delay in the paperwork. Or do you mean to question me? Never, sir. Guards! However, I will say that being found not guilty is a nice way of kind of like gives you like a nice hint that the chancellor isn't like just kind of like a cook. He's actually got an agenda and is like very keen about killing Chrono. Wait, oh, so they did keep the thing with like only 3 save files. Okay, so this is the reward for not eating the guy's lunch at the fair, and also for not being guilty, actually. A sympathizer from your trial brought that for you. Enjoy it while you can. Obtain 3 ethers. And if you remember, that's like the guy that... like, this is like the packed lunch that we could have eaten, but didn't. Days remaining until execution 3. So, basically what happens here, you get some opportunities to escape. If you manage that, then that's fine. If you don't, then Luca kind of comes and saves you the last day. You can kind of like make noise here and make him come inside. Pipe down, you. I think I'm gonna try breaking out myself. I don't think it matters much, rather than like the only reason is that I can more immediately access some of the chests without like kind of like backtracking. But yeah, I'm probably gonna like try to escape on my own. Even though it's kind of like a pain to do that, because he kind of like pushes you back, and then you can actually do this. Oh, there we go. And yeah, you get a few more encounters if you choose to, you know, fight them. But primarily what it does, it kind of like saves up on backtracking to get like a couple of the chests that are like in this wing. Because if you manage to break out on your own, this doesn't open all the way. Yeah, okay. I seem to remember you need to come from like the outside or something like that, or like drop from like a floor above. But yeah, if you don't escape on time, Luca comes and finds you like when you're like getting taken for your execution. Let's see. What do I think I'm doing? I'm just kind of killing you, dude. Come on. In like a very critical manner as well. But yeah, then you kind of like have to fight your way back to here and check out all the chests and stuff. Also, I never noticed this because like the game in like the original versions and like the DS version is kind of like a it's like standard definition. It's not like a widescreen format. But if you see this map with the chests, actually on the same map as on the same tile set as the second floor of the castle, I want to say. And like this one as well, you can kind of like see the border up here, which is kind of funny. And I think we fight like a mini boss or something, right? Like the guy with the mace. Yep, there we go. I love this guy's character model. So you're the ones gone and sleeped his cell, eh? He's got like 250 health, so he should be dead now, yeah. Earn 22 XP, 55G, obtain Ether. Yay. They don't pay me enough for this. Gotta love that. That's just like another fight here, I think. No, wait. That's like just the boss at the end of the thing. So, fun fact, you can actually skip these if you line it just right. I can like never do it. I only like did it once. Hold on. There we go. And you can actually skip them. And the reason I skip them is that they're very annoying to fight. There's like basically that enemy is like a black blob, and it has like a shield in front of it, and you actually have to wait for like a good while in combat until it turns the shield sideways, exposing the black blob behind it, and then you can attack that to, you know, kill it. It's like a very annoying enemy, so I'd much rather like not fight it. XP, 90G. Yep, this one also goes halfway. Now, see, I was right. There was like another fight here. I love how they let him keep his sword in his cell. I was like, good guarding 101. So I think you can actually... There we go. Knock him out. He is unconscious. Obtain meat potion. It's like a fairly powerful item for this part of the game. I think you can do it with this guy as well. Hold on. I mean, normally I have no cause to be using these, but, you know. Help me, please. Free him? Yes. He's actually also innocent, even though we shouldn't realistically know this. This guy's the son of the shopkeep in either Truce or Poor. I'm Fritz. My father runs the market in Truce. Stop by if you're ever in the area. We get some cool items from him later on. There's like another fight here. Bronze armor. I already have one, right? Yeah. Yep. Oh, he did his special. That's amazing. Hey, Radium Fodder, thank you for the follow. And welcome to the stream. How are we doing tonight? So I think both of them have respawned at this point. Oh, no? Really? Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Good afternoon. Another potion. Gimme. Bye-bye. How's our afternoon going? It's more like, I think it's around like 11 p.m. already. It's like 11:30 p.m. It's like nearly time to be calling the stream. So yeah, clearly like a difference in time zones there. But yeah, how are we doing? How's everything going? Okay. And this guy's dead. Poor guy. Okay, let's see if I can get the skip a second time. Things like, there we go. Hehe. Fine in general. I mean, that's like probably a good outcome. Like nothing special. It also means like nothing bad. You know, kind of that. So let's see if I remember correctly. It's like this way, right? Yeah. Okay, so this takes me in here. And then I drop down to the other place. I get the other two. There we go. Silver sword. I did tell you that I'm gonna get it like soonish. It's also actually, there we go, a lot more powerful than like the steel saber. My new game plus, nope, it's like regular NG, I guess. It's like the Steam version. I'm just like starting it now for the first time. Although I have played the game a number of times already. Yeah. This also always gives me a lot of trouble because I just like can't align everything correctly. And I think you can't actually like do anything else here. Right, yeah. One of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, I know. I've like played this to death. Like I've actually finished the SNES version twice, the PlayStation version like once. I've actually gone 3 times through the DS version. Although I've only ever done like the optional dungeon like once, because it kind of got a bit tiresome after a while. But yeah, I thought with this one, like, I don't know, is Posh still in chat? He kind of like requested that. And, you know, it's kind of like a nice, you know, introduction to him, I guess. Then again, I'm totally like taking this excuse to also go stream Chrono Cross after this. After I'm done with like Chrono Trigger, I'm like, I've already got it like prepped here. Hold on. There we go. I got my PS3 here, and I've already like downloaded Chrono Cross, and I'm just like gonna try and like stream that as well. Eventually, I mean, Chrono Trigger isn't like that big of a game, so like maybe by this time next week, I'm gonna be starting on Chrono Cross. Oh no! Escape! Somebody help! Nope. Chrono, I came to rescue you. Oh, looks like you managed on your own. Yep, I did. Obtain meat potion. Actually, a lot of them. 5 of them. See, I remember the line. I love that. A classified document has been left lying on the floor. This is kind of like a hint for like how to beat the next boss. Dragon tank design specifications. Attention, Warden of the Guardia Castle Prisons. The head of the tank is equipped with the capacity to repair damage done to the body, an ingenious marvel of engineering. The head has also been enhanced with a shield to prevent damage by lightning and fire, leaving it vulnerable only to attacks with weapons such as swords and pistols. G, the exact 2 weapon types that we are using. I didn't like it too much. I mean, to be fair, it is like a very different game to Chrono Trigger. Like the focus, the systems, like the whole feel of it. I will say though that I love Chrono Cross just as much as Chrono Trigger, but maybe for like different reasons, right? It is also a much more depressing kind of game, I guess. Oh, forgot to heal. See, that was kind of stupid of me. Like 11 mid potions, I think that's not going to be a problem. So yeah, we kind of need to destroy the head first of all. Forward, Dragon Tank! Crush those conspirators! However, we also need to exploit another hidden mechanic. So basically, you will notice that we also got like the Wind Slash attack, which has a hidden property, well, semi-hidden property of, how would you call it? It can actually cancel enemy attacks, specific enemy attacks, and specifically the ones that charge up. So whenever an enemy charges up an attack, usually you can use Wind Slash to dissipate the energy and kind of like stop them from unleashing a very powerful attack on you. But the lore of the game kind of confusing. I mean, yeah, to be fair, and I don't know, I'm trying to like say this without like spoilers, but the lore of Chrono Cross is kind of a mess until you get to the last fourth of the game, the last quarter of the game, where you actually get a lot of things explained all at the same time. So yeah, it's very confusing. Wheel storing energy for a charge. So here, I can do Wind Slash on the wheels. There we go. And that will dissipate the attack, the energy. Oh wait, it didn't? Huh. Okay. I thought it did. Well, it does that for the Masamune fight and like for like the Yakra fight, I think. So I'm not actually sure why it didn't do it here. I mean, he clearly didn't charge, right? So I mean, he didn't clearly like do the strong attack. So I guess that worked. Oh, specifically for wind attacks. Okay, my bad. Okay, so we kill the head. So no heals. Maybe I should like try and heal myself too. Nope. Actually, I think it's better to like do Wind Slash here, right? To, like hit both of them at the same time. Have to go. Thank you for dropping by, Raiden Foda. Thank you for the follow as well. Please don't die. You know, mid potion's fine. So I think the rest of the body isn't immune to fire. But it's also not like weak to it, so yeah. Specifically for wind attacks. Oh, she dead. She dead. She dead. She dead. I did stupid here. I should be healing with her. And that's done. Yay. Also, like, a very cool thing that this game did was, like, getting special animations to happen when you destroy specific enemies. My dragon tank! Fix it! Quickly! Nope. Also, great slapstick here. Don't fool yourselves into thinking you get away with this. Screw you, Chancellor. Also mine. Thank you. Nope, hold on. Go back. There's like one more here, I think. No? They're escaping. I've got no choice. We're just gonna have to plow through. Stop that right now. Yep. She's pissed off. Again. That man is my friend and you will treat him as such. You refuse to obey my orders? Off with your heads. Nope. Suddenly the Chancellor is like coming through there, like there's like any path for that. On your knees, His Grace King Guardia the 33rd comes before you. Like at the point where like a single dynasty has like 33 named kings, that feels a bit weird. Although I guess the title is kind of like Guardia, the 33rd is like irrespective of like what the actual lineage is. You are a princess before all else. No, I'm not. I'm a person first and princess second. All of these little excursions of yours outside the castle seem to be having a bad influence on you. It's not an influence, it's common sense. I can't live in this stupid castle anymore. I'm leaving. Come on, Chrono. It's like everyone just like standing there. Don't just stand there, after them. Oh, Nadia. Ha! Ha! There they are, don't lose them. There's nowhere left to run. Ho, ho, ho. Actually, you can just like sit there and they're like keep pushing at you constantly until you kind of like get the hint and come like this way. There's a gate. Whoa, I wonder where it'll take us. Maybe in the in like a faraway place a long time ago. This is like the one to the future, right? Hurry, Chrono! Yes. Can actually do anything anyway. I love that they gave the Chancellor a surprised sprite here. It's like so good. I'm telling you, like whoever made the sprites in this game had a lot of fun doing it. Eek. Also, welcome to the most depressing era of the game. The future. There's no way the Chancellor can get us here. But where are we? Or rather, when are we? The civilization here seems pretty advanced. It almost looks like we're in another world. For those of you with keen hearing, you may recognize this as the same theme that plays when you're trying to open the black chests in both 600 and 1000 AD. There's a reason for that, but I'm kind of suspecting we're going to have to find that out next stream, because there's like no way in the next 20 minutes we're going to like learn anything about that. Okay, let's come to Trandom. Got any cash? Is stuff real? Never seen money like this before. Oh well, I have some good stuff for you. I can totally like get upgrades for well, all of them actually. Go back. There we go. We can totally like sell the ones that we don't need. There's like really no point in keeping all like the armors that you're not using. Unfortunately, it never kind of like does anything else. Also, hold on. Note this. If I just keep saving up money, someday it'll come in handy. That's what I tell myself anyway. If you remember at the start of the game, we kind of like went to the poor inn, and there's a guy that says a very similar thing. And I guess the implication is that this is kind of like the descendant of that guy from like 1300 years in the future. The game you start getting elements. Yeah, but I mean, generally these, like the early armors aren't like any special. Because there's like other games where you like keep the starter armors, like cool things that you can do later on with them, but not this game. But yeah, the elemental armors are always good to keep, especially the robes, because from the DS version onwards, and including this one, I believe, the kind of like the special dungeons are kind of built around like certain elements, like the post-game dungeons, I guess. I don't remember what they're called. There's like some portals that appear in like certain time periods, and you can go into them with the epoch. But yeah, elemental protection is decent to keep in this game, just because of that. And there's like a lot of bosses in the late game that are kind of elementally attuned, so specific elements are kind of highly valued against them, I guess, if that makes sense. There should still be some food at Aris Dome to the northeast. If you can get through Site 16 alive, the specters that haunt that place can't be harmed by weapons like guns or blades. Truce? Never heard of a dome by that name. This is Tran Dome. Kingdom? Chancellor? Has the hunger driven you mad? Cheese Golem? I mean, you mean like the first time, right? Like the time that you're not actually supposed to, you know, win. But yeah, apparently in the future there's a thing called the Enertron that can restore you to full health, but it doesn't cure hunger. Actually, like very highbrow stuff for like a sci-fi setting. And remember, this isn't like quite a sci-fi game. It's kind of like a little bit of everything. Oh, it works for twin golems too. I've never actually tried that. I assume you have to grind like a whole bunch in like prehistory to get enough ruby vests for everyone. Also just like love the music here. It's so cool. Also, you will note that the enemies here are like specifically very annoying to deal with. A couple of rounds of hunting will do it. I mean, I've always had trouble finding all the materials, to be honest. Like the new never like seemed to kind of like want to spawn for me. I know you get like I don't know, it's like 20 of each material, I think, if you find him, or something like that. I don't remember. It's like quite a lot compared to just like killing the other things regularly. Oh shit, no, don't attack those. Ah, no, stop. So I remember these would like kind of like counter-attack with that like explosion thing if you let them. Although maybe I'm thinking of like a later enemy. Because again, this is kind of like a tight game overall, and one of the ways in which they achieve that is by reusing the sprites of the enemies in like slightly different colors. Also, yeah, I hate the rats in this location. They kind of like steal your potions, or like even other things. Berserker ring. This is the one that makes you lose control, right? But boost attack defense, can't control well, yeah. It's actually kind of nice for like Frog, especially if you already have another healer and you just need him to just like spam regular attacks. There we go. No! Chest! Let me do chest. Curse you. Yeah, that was my bad. I thought that like that one hit would have killed the healer, but it doesn't. But this should do it. So yeah, for those of you that don't really understand what me and JC are talking about, later on in the game you get to go to another time period called prehistory, or like something like 65 million BC or something like that. And since, you know, it's the prehistory and there's no currency invented yet, what ends up happening is that you can only get items by doing a little scavenging minigame, I want to say, in which certain enemies drop certain items, like leaves and petals and pebbles, I think, and you trade them in specific combinations and qualities and quantities to the vendor that gives you items in return. Because, you know, prehistory, there are no currencies invented yet. Horn, feather, petal, and claw. Maybe, yeah, that sounds about right. I remember the feather and the pedal more than anything, to be honest. I don't remember the horn though, but I mean, that sounds about right. Oh. No, don't heal! God damn you. And yeah, in that area you also get access to like the first armor that has an elemental property, which is the ruby vest that absorbs fire attacks. So anything with like the fire element, like Lucas' flamethrower, or learned allure. Yes. Attack that I'm never... Oh, halves fire damage. Okay, never mind. Oh, wait, it's not the... see, yeah. Vests, like, cut damage by half. And, like, the armor or, like, chest plate absorbs it, right? Like, the upgraded version of that. Right? I think that's correct there. Like check this real quick. That's right. Yeah, I just like want to check this. It's like gonna be eating me all night. Red plate. Plate, yes. Plate armors are the ones that absorb the element that they're like responsible for. So yeah, and I think the only way you can get like the plate armors is by doing that thing with the like Marl's pendant, where you like go to like 600 AD, try to open the black chest, you don't open it, and then you go to 1000 AD and open the charged up version. So that gives you like the upgraded version of all those plate like armors. Nope. Nope. You're not gonna steal my potions, you jerk. Oh god, I hate these. So these are kind of very annoying enemies. And the problem with these enemies is that they can't really be killed with physical attacks. They can only be killed by elemental. And the only elemental attack I have at the moment happens to be Flamethrower. So, yay. I get to wait around like an idiot until I can like basically burn them to death. Which sucks. And did you also notice that you don't really like get TP from this fight either? Because like this time period hates you and your guts and hopes you were dead. So this is like a weird fight. This guy actually, I think his main feature is that he kind of like does like a life steal. He does like a tongue flick that drains life or something, which is gross. And hopefully I'm gonna like beat him to like gross. I was kind of hoping I would like beat him to using it, but yes, no. Dead. Oh, you know, I'm not getting TP because that's like all the skills I can learn until now. Yep. So we actually need to do an event later on in the game before we can start learning shit again. Which I think also kind of indicates that I'm like maybe a bit too far on like the leveling. Can I get them all three in like one line? Probably not, eh? However, I think like Fire Whirl might work here. I don't remember. I think I keep like having in my head that like the physical attacks that like kind of like have an elemental property won't hurt these. But I guess I was wrong. Oh well. Sucks to be them. Oh no, I just remember. This is like the place where you do the little like racing minigame as well. I hate that minigame so much. I capital H hate that minigame. On the SNES version, it was nearly impossible for me to win until I tried like a 50 or 60 times or something like that. We just came from the other side of the ruins to the west. What? Hey, we've got people who crossed the ruins. What? Are you serious? So there are people strong enough to fight those mutants. Dad's gonna be back with some food soon. No, he's not. My husband left for the storage food facility down below. We haven't seen him since. Well, I'm gonna see him, but you're not gonna like that. It's actually really easy. Yeah, I know. I eventually figured out that the trick is kind of like save all 3 boosts at the the last 100 meters and try to kind of like bump into him just before I do the boost. So this is Dawn, I think. Yeah, Dawn, a descendant of the former director of this information center in the days when it still was one. This dome substructure holds a supercomputer and a food storage facility, but the robot guards are still active and will not let us through. Ironic, isn't it? We starve right atop our own stores of food. Well, there aren't any stores of food though, so sucks to be you. You can reach the continent to the south through the sewers, but I wouldn't advise it. That's where Death Peak sits, the source of all this devastation. And besides, even someone as strong as you would never stand a chance against the mutants that lead down those sewers. That's actually like a very easy way to die early in the game, is to try going through the sewers there. Let me heal. If I just keep saving money, someday it'll come in handy. At least that's the guy that blah blah blah, right? That's what that guy who left to cross the ruins used to say. So that guy did make it as well. That's kind of nice, I guess. Ruins right after Specchio. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like... Wait, you don't actually have to do them though, right? Like, until you kind of need to get, like, Chrono out of the place again. Like, use the Chrono trigger to get him back. Right? This console controls the door lock. We need a password to get through. Let's see if I remember it. Oh! Damn, I actually can't even input the password until I've like examined the thing. Like chasing the stupid rat up here. I hate this as well. Like, stupid rat is always like running way too fast. It appears to be a decorative statue. Warning, anyone approaching the food stocks is subject to attack. They're balanced for early game? Really? Huh. Okay. I thought you only had to go through the sewers to get to like Death Peak and like put the the doppeldoll there, right? No! Boss! Curses! Initiating command sequence. Chrono, what's that? Let's smash this thing, said the scientist and inventor. Oh, that's right. That's where we get the epoch. I mean, no, wait. That's not where you get epoch. That's where you actually, like, I guess that's where you modify it so that it can, like, fly, like, all over the place instead of just, like, going through predetermined places. Or is that, like, later on? Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, he adds the wings when he captures you on like the Black Omen. There's like a lot that has gone by this game that I don't really remember about. Jeez. Count the bits. Yeah, I hate the bits. So this is what happens when all 3 enemies are active. Every time you hit the main body, it kind of like retaliates with that delta attack. So, like, ideally, I don't really want to, you know, do that. Actually, realistically, you only need to kill like one of them, but then the other one uses amplifier like a whole bunch, and that's kind of like a no-no. So I might as well use Horror to just like get my health back up a little bit. Hey, critical! Finally. Breakdown. Finally, we win. Yay! A winner is you. I love that saying. Yep. Stinking. Yuck, something reeks. So yeah, this is where we find out that the ventilation has gone bad for like a while now. Everything's completely rotten. The refrigeration must have failed. So there's no food. Chrono, look! He's not breathing. Must have died down here. There's something in his hand. What do you suppose this is? It's a seed. It looks like some kind of seed. A seed? Could it even grow in a place like this? A note is written on a solid scrap of paper. That rat is more than just a statue. It knows the secret to the dome. Catch it! I hate that freaking rat. I hate it so much. And then you kind of have to like chase it. Oh, I got it. First time. Squeak, I give up. I'll tell you everything, Squeak. Press A, Y, and then B to activate the switch. Once you hear the sound, Squeak. Wait, what? Oh my god, they changed it? So, this was giving me a lot of trouble in the original SNES version because you had to press the two trigger buttons and A and B at the same time. Whoa. A, Y, B. So now it's just like a sequence. Huh. They changed that. What the hell? It took me so much time at first to like get it right, because like I never owned an SNES, so the first time I played this was like through an emulator, and my keyboard didn't support multiple inputs, so I couldn't really press both A, B, and the two trigger buttons at the same time. That's some music that like it's like 95, like 25 years later they finally decided that they would kind of like make it a bit more like controller friendly or like user friendly generally. That actually makes me very happy. Also, I do not remember this whirring sound in the original. It is famous for having yeah. So the problem is that like most keyboards, mine included, didn't really have like a setting for like didn't really have like support for multiple inputs. So clearly, if you try to press more than 2 buttons at the same time, it will kind of like freak out. This must be the supercomputer. Good, it's still operational. If we run a search of temporal distortions, we might just find our gate. So this is the actual like major plot reveal of the first third of the game. This is how the world came to be an apocalyptic wasteland. Got it. East of here. Through the ruins. Through the chase scene. And down there. There, Protodome. Leave it to Luca. Who'd have thought this machine could tell us something like that? Say, what does this button do? Okay. A random button is random. Was it titled Exposition? 1990, like 1999 AD, visual record of the Day of Lavos. It's like actually very chilling and like very well done actually. Yep, this is how the world ended in 1999 AD. This is like just the perfect amount of like silence and like static in the background before everyone like starts talking. What was that? Lavos? Is that what destroyed the world? Then this really is our future. No, it can't be. I won't believe it. We've got to stop this. This can't be the way the world ends. I don't know. Hey, that's right, we can change it. Change history. Just like Chrono did when he saved me. We have to. Right? Right? Please. Yeah, I guess so. That was like a very half-hearted, like, whatever. Unfortunately, we've got gates that will let us move through time. What do you say? Let's do this. Yes. Next stop, stupid car mini games. I have no idea what this like whirring sound is. It definitely wasn't there in the original. Ah, oh, damn it. No, combat, I don't want combat. I can't get any TP. Screw you. Go away. Shoo, I say, shoo. That was a woo sound. Really? Oh. So I guess it's just like messed with like the what's it called? I guess it's like messed with like the sound mixing like of the scene, I guess. That makes sense. You're back. Did you bring food? Well, there isn't any. That kid's dad kind of like died protecting the last seed. What did you discover? This is our future. Who cares? Where's the food? This was the only thing left. A seed. Huh. You don't know how long that Enertron will hold out. That seed might be your only hope. Anyway, just stay alive. Really? Don't give up. We won't either. You're an idiot. I mean, I also like this theme so much. It's like a very melancholy tone to it. You mean because we haven't lost hope? Hope. That's a word I haven't heard in some time. It does have a comforting ring to it, though. I don't know what kind of seed this is, but I'll do my best to grow it. What's that? This may be just the thing we needed. You're off to Protodome then. You'll need to pass through Site 32. Take this with you. Jetbike key. It's a key to a jetbike parked at the Site 32 ruins. I used to ride it when I was young. Hopefully it still works. Oh well. So I think this is like a good stopping point for tonight. It's like way past midnight already, and while it was my day off today, I do need to get back to work tomorrow, so I can't really take much more off time for streaming. So yeah, let's call it for tonight. Probably gonna be streaming more of this tomorrow. I guess we can probably get this and antiquity out of the way. Probably. But in the meantime, let's go raid. Who should we raid? Ninis. Ninis was actually doing the new Mario collection on Switch. It's actually interesting. I would actually be entertaining to get it if it wasn't as expensive as that. But yeah, anyway, in the meantime, have a very pleasant evening. I will see you tomorrow, and pleasant day, night / other, time zone equivalent greeting. And good night.